Welcome to the UDP broadcast, a podcast where some friends get together to talk about gaming-related stuff and offer somewhat informed and uninformed opinions. I'm Luminary, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Imi, the Eternal Barcode.
Hello!
The Nordic Cajun.
Skull and praise be, my friends.
And Crit Chicken.
Yeah, what he said.
I know that first part of the show is not officially a part of the show, but damn it, Lemmy, you have so many shorts you can get from the first 30 minutes of the show already. Damn.
Yeah, like the moment you join, that's when I turns it on, man.
Oh, no.
Angry Barcode is here.
Well, I mean, it's no sense. I mean, Twitch already catches all the intro music and whatnot. There's no point in like recording all that unless, like, I don't know, lo-fi beats to study by. I who knows. All right.
And then get your channel canceled because someone decided, I know you've been playing for 2 years, but I'm going to copyright strike you anyway.
That's such bullshit. It had the longest running streaming channel on YouTube, and somebody decided to be a dick.
Yeah, speaking of
What's
dicks.
really funny is I hid all my old YouTube content because it kept on getting content ID claimed. Everything. But anyways, speaking of dicks,
We'll be talking about...
Boing.
We'll be revisiting the Tencent and Ubisoft conversation. We will also...
Before we continue, though, scene change.
Oh, yeah, I got to do that, huh?
I got to bounce, man. I got to see myself bounce. Come on.
There we go. We should be in a good place now.
All right. Sorry, more interruptions. Continue.
Scene change.
We are here for the lulls, guys. Let's go.
Professionals.
All day, semi-professional.
All right, so Tencent and Ubisoft will be talking about more Activision Blizzard King stuff, and Nintendo joins the fray. Insert Smash Brothers sound bites here, and some real good feel-good stuff from the Pokemon Company and Nexus Mods getting towards the end. So sit back,
feel emotional at the end with this Pokemon shit.
Stick around, and enjoy the show. This really is really well written, Imi. I need to.
I mean, you are top notch when it comes to like. I don't know what's going on until Saturday usually, and then when you throw this stuff up, I'm like, okay, I am ready for the show now. Let's go.
So
I'll play our part.
So Ubisoft and Tencent, when we visited that like 2 weeks ago, it had to deal, or before when we were going to visit it, and we ran out of time. China has come down really hard on their game publishers and developers and things like that, where everything has to go through a rigorous vetting process by I forgot the name of the organization.
The people in charge.
Yeah, the PICs, the people in charge. Yeah, the PICs, right. So either way.
So you could say they're a bunch of dicks as well?
Pricks. Well, pricks would be the easiest word.
Okay.
Dick pics. Haha.
I swear to God, I'm mature. I promise.
I'm not.
So thanks to Imi, and I got to call it out because he puts all this stuff together in nice bite-sized information. I go read up on it later, so I've got a little bit more background. But I'm going to go ahead and read off this first sentence here. Tencent looking to increase its 5% in Ubisoft by purchasing additional stake in the company from the founding. Is that Guillermo?
Yeah, Guillermo.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. The T is always like the
It's French.
Yeah, I know. I could always do it the most American
C'est
way
français.
possible. Guillermo.
There's no R. Oh.
The only Guillermo I know is in What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
But that has an
I
R.
was just watching that before we got here.
So the founder looking to purchase from the Guillermo family, along with some public shareholders as well. And the Guillermo family actually owns 15% of Ubisoft as a company. So in that, they're offering up to 100 euros per share. I can't speak today. You would think I've had plenty of time to speak today.
English is hard.
English is
Words
hard.
are difficult, I understand.
Yeah.
Have you read an end user license agreement?
No, I've read it out loud. Anyway, Tencent is offering up to 100 euros per share, and when they made that offer, the Ubisoft shares closed up 11% on Thursday as a result. And I assume this was Thursday at the time of this publication, which was like two weeks ago.
I believe that was Thursday this week. Let me double check. That was August 4th. So it'd be the Thursday before that, which would have been July 28th.
Okay, so
is
last
when
month.
that closed.
Okay. It's 120% above share price to ward off potential rivals. So there was some other stuff going on along the same time, because this all kind of comes around the idea that mega corporations are buying up game development studios and publishers. Microsoft has done it with Activision Blizzard King, Obsidian, Rare. What's the other big one they acquired? Bethesda and ZeniMax Studios. Like, just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Riot has been purchased, or like a good stake has been purchased by Tencent, and yeah, they've been getting their fingers in a lot of pots, because the licenses that have been granted for new games to be released in China have not included any Tencent titles, so they're looking to make money elsewhere, and looks like they're looking outside of the country.
Which
Good on them.
That
I mean, for doing
makes
that,
sense because of how tightly knit China can be in terms of their own internal stuff.
Well, think about it. They're a Chinese-run company, and they already have trouble getting stuff in and out of China. And mind you, Tencent allows for Riot and Ubisoft to publish games in China, following China's rules, of course, because you can't actually, unless you're a Chinese citizen or a Chinese company, you can't really do anything in that country. But on the reverse hand, if you really think about it, check it out. They've got Ubisoft, which is a publisher. They've got Riot, which is a game service delivery. So I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Games as a service, League of Legends, their auto chess game, I forgot what it's called, and things like that. Now, if you
they got Runeterra, you got TFT. That's their one you're talking about.
And now
and then their fighting game coming out that's going to be officially free to play. So they've got their hands in all kinds of gaming genres right now.
Well, I mean, they've got a huge roster of IP to go with. Like, you can pretty much Street Fighter out RE versus Sona. That'd be kind of cool.
As a fighting game veteran, I cannot wait for Project L, by the way. I cannot wait to punch somebody in the face with Echo or Jinx or freaking Darius, please.
Yeah, indeed. Jinx would be the most hilarious.
Things taken out of context. Can't wait to punch them in the face.
Oh, the fisting. Okay, so...
Wait, fisting. Oh, no.
I didn't go that far, Lumi.
Oh, no.
I stopped with the gum, sir.
Yeah, well...
All I can think of now is the scene from If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device, where Robert Gilliman is saying, "Are you begging for a fisting, boy?
Bring that ass here, boy.
I cast fist."
God.
I'll have to show you guys those shows later, but goddamn.
They've also got their hands in Epic Games, which is now a distribution platform. The Epic launch and everything else. So they've pretty much got everything worldwide to do worldwide releases, with Tencent raking in the money. I mean, that's the whole idea of having a business anyway, is that you make money and you do make business decisions that are good for the business that make money. That's what you do. And because they can't release their own games in China because it goes through this long licensing process with the Chinese government, it only makes sense to put your investments elsewhere and collect a check because you're waiting on stuff to be done at home.
And it makes sense because that's business 101. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to be able to go to this company, invest in them, and rake in the profits later. They go to this company, do the same thing. Like Tencent, as much as I hate speaking their name, they're doing what they have to do to make the most amount of money. They are spreading themselves. They are the Cthulhu of the gaming world right now.
So they pretty much took notes from like Shaquille O'Neal, right?
Pretty much. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, or Michael Jordan. Like, get involved in every platform, every product endorsement, or whatever.
Or Snoop Dogg.
Snoopy, because any revenue that you get from anywhere it's going to fund your company no matter what. Like, the word is called I said it the other day to the missus. It's
well, you're diversifying your investments.
That it's a something income. It's a side. I can't think of it right now. infinitely generating income without you doing anything. All you do is like, here's a couple of $1 billion. Just give me my incentive at the end of the month, and we're good. And they're doing that with bajillions of companies out there right now.
I think it's passive income.
That's the word. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's that. She's the smart one. I'm just here
No.
talking shit.
Indeed. So, and they already have a 5% stake in the company, but increasing that to being the largest shareholder of that particular company gives them a lot of power to do the things that they want to do, which is release games and make money. And I'm for it. Again, like I said in the episode where we actually talked about China and whatnot, I'm not a fan of a Chinese company doing this, but yeah, there's a fine line of doing things that is good for the gaming community, and then there is world domination, which I'm pretty sure Tencent and ByteDance and places like that really aren't really for world domination as far as control is concerned, but as far as like, hey, we're in it to make money, which is why they're reaching out like this. I don't see them
Just
ever.
remember, Tencent also is a huge investor of a lot of blockbuster movies as well, because if you want your movie to be shown in China, it might be changing now, but you definitely in the past have needed Tencent's investments in your movie to have it shown in China.
Yeah, well, I mean, the audience there is huge, right?
Yep.
A whole extra.
But they've always been the gateway, though.
Wait, I got a joke for this one, or a pun.
Oh no. Oh, no.
Yes.
You need 10 cents, 2 cents to get a movie in China.
Oh, God.
Yes.
That's 12 cents.
It's literally knowing somebody that knows somebody. If you know somebody in Tencent that can push your product, you've made it.
Pretty much. Like the resources I gave us for that particular episode talks about you remember all the strenuous stuff they have to do to even release that stuff. And they'll review it and do it for you, which is kind of nice. And Tencent's kind of the same way. I hope, I guess. I have no idea. I didn't read their sheet.
Which really makes me wonder how they get half of their skins in League passed in China.
They may
especially
not.
because damn, there's some of them skins
just
that
remember,
you look at them like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy that skin. That's nice.
Comic related stuff is perfectly okay. For the most part, it is okay. It's human on human stuff that they frown upon. So you have a lot of leeway.
I guess that makes sense. That's understandable. There's not too many team ups in terms of their pictures in terms of leagues. That makes sense. But still, it's just 6 one way, half dozen the other when it comes to that kind of stuff in terms of their propaganda. But again, I'm in America. What do I know?
That's right. Silly Americans. I bet the only person here is diverse as far as Americans are concerned is probably Amy, because Quebec. Maybe you too, Nordic, except I believe yours Cajun French.
Yeah, and I know very little of that as well. So,
well, so entertainingly enough, what's taught in Canada outside of Quebec is Parisian French, and when you're in Quebec, you're taught Quebecois, and Quebecois is, I don't know what's the best, probably hick of French. I mean, they'll get pissed off, and I'll probably get some flaming for this, and they'll probably say it's not hick, but at the same time, when you have an entire government department made specifically to enforce language laws, I'm going to call you a goddamn hick, especially when you go after companies because the English words in your sign were not visibly smaller than the French name for your company. Like, fuck right off.
No, that's about this. It's a downgraded version down here. It's literally redneck French.
Yeah, but these are just moron French because, like, Tim Hortons, I like to pick on this one, and Walmart's another one. Do you guys, your Walmarts in the US, do they still have the dash, like WAL-MART?
I'd
I
have
don't
to
know.
look.
No.
Okay. Because I know for the longest time they did. Then the French language police came after them, and then they changed it to all one word. Tim Hortons used to have an apostrophe S, and apostrophe S for possessive in English does not exist in French. So the French language police came after Tim Hortons, and they had to drop the apostrophe S. That's why you'll never see that again. But that's the power that that department has over business in that province. So if you don't adhere strictly to their language laws, they will actually revoke your business license. And they don't care who you are or how much money you make, they will pull it away from you if they find you guilty of not, following the language laws properly. And like, god damn it, just say weekend or email. Don't say Kriel or Le fin de semaine. Just say the fucking weekend. Anyways,
we live in a country where our English is so broken. There's no way on God's green earth you can mispronounce something and not somebody understand what it means. So McDonald's, Burger King, Tim Hortons, you can have 12 apostrophes and nobody would give you a single question about it.
I mean, I questioned one of my classmates that used to refer to Skittles as Skitters.
What? What?
Yeah.
like spiders?
How?
Don't ask.
How?
No,
but that's the thing I am asking.
It was a Florida thing, okay?
Things that make you go, huh?
Florida is a scary place. Like it's like I had a buddy who lived there, and he's like, "Yeah, when it rains, the spiders fall from the trees, and they jump out of the grass to catch bugs." And just...
It's mostly the iguanas that fall from the trees during winters, though.
Okay, so
wait, what?
The rest of the world is raining cats and dogs, but in Florida is raining lizards and spiders. Got it.
Yep.
Well,
sadly, that makes sense to me with Florida. I don't understand why.
There's that place in Australia that pretty much has spider windstorms.
Oh yeah,
true.
But in any case, that whole Quebec thing is pretty much what Tencent is doing as far as movies and everything, getting its hands in the cookie jar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. I forgot where we were going with that. I just went on an anti-Quebec rant.
We chased 3 rabbits on that one, so
I'm like reeling it in slowly.
It was
Get rid of the goddamn language, please. Anyways,
so
fuck.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if it's an opportunity to get your content in front of more eyes in a different country, and if that's the only conduit to do it, then that's just the way you do it. It's kind of the same principle. I know that a lot of the was it Sweden. They do a lot of retirement in Taiwan, I believe is what it is. Yeah, Taiwan, but you can't really go retire in Taiwan and own land. You have to have a Thai person buy the property for you as your liaison in order for you to own that property, so to say. So somebody has to hold it for you. It's kind of the same idea, except a bit more legal. So yeah,
just slightly more legal, just enough to be above the line.
You know, if they continue to promote great progress and good content, I'm all for it. And so far, nothing really bad has come from Tencent being involved in stuff other than dictating what you can and can't do in their own country, which they are in grounds to do because they are pretty much fronting for you to put your content there.
And who knows, maybe...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, who knows, maybe in the future they'll have some kind of a co-op with Mr. Beast.
Oh, no.
At this point, Mr. Beast is freaking buying islands for individual subscribers. He could freaking probably buy out Tencent if he really put his mind to it.
That guy has an amazing story. He was in his car. He's like, I think I'm going to make videos. And somehow...
he just took off. Like, dude's got his own burger chain. And he's giving out tens of thousands of dollars for people just liking videos. I'm like, my man, hit your boy up.
I take donations. That'll go well to my mortgage.
My Cash App is... Cheers.
Yep.
My Cash App.
Mortgage Freeman.
What's that?
I said my name is Mortgage Freeman.
Mortgage Freeman.
That's actually pretty funny. And Nordic has died.
Nordic has left the chat. He's done. Bye.
You're welcome.
Mortgage Freeman.
Well,
I think it was a good idea to keep her on here. She's fantastic.
I have been drinking since 2 p.m., so anything is probably going to send me off right now.
I'm only on my third beer, because I had one.
I have almost polished off an entire bottle of vodka. I am killing the game today.
I had cold brew.
It takes me that much to get a buzz, though, so it sucks. But I'm almost there.
It's been a long time since I've been on a Kraken hunt, and I should probably go on one tomorrow.
Oh shit! I have Kraken.
I gotta work Monday, so
I
maybe
got
not.
I got Kraken in the cabinet. I might tear that up tonight.
Mine's in my freezer. Don't need
Ooh,
ice.
killing it.
Well,
Anyway, next topic.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Anyways,
Yeah,
so on to Activision, and Activision being Activision.
Yeah.
you know, I'm
So
gonna let you
anyways,
lead this one. I mean,
here's a
go
question.
for it.
Here's a question. Would you like if you had Tencent in one hand and Activision in the other? Which one would you put in the trash first?
Bobby Kotick.
Activision first. Bobby
Ac-
Kotick's got to go.
Or
Like,
maybe just Bobby Kotick. Like you just scrape that off the top into the garbage, and the rest
Well-
of it should still be good.
all the senior staff, everybody at the very fucking top goes. Bobby Kotick gets to go bathe in lava. The rest of them just can't get handed pink slips, and their compensation packages get reduced to 0 because you find some way of saying all the money we would have paid you is now going to go to victims of abuse that you have allowed to perpetuate. So fuck you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And every single person that you've dealt with in terms of this violation, you will be paying quarterly.
Yeah. Like your bonuses are now forfeit. All your payout is forfeit. Kotick gets to go bathe in lava, and the victims get properly compensated. Works out for me.
I'm
Too
down.
long didn't read. Take care now. Bye bye then.
We'll submit
Yeah,
feedback.
yeet.
We'll just be like, here you go.
Yeah. Yeet. So, Activision is being Activision. If you have not heard, Blizzard Albany employees have now voted to unionize, and that is now before the Labor Relations Board in the US, or the National Labor Relations Board. And as part of the argument against unionization, which Activision is wanted to do, and most employers will do because they're dumb, they went so far as saying, well, you know what? The QA testers can't be the only ones who vote. Not allowed. We don't want them to be the only people. We want everybody who works on Diablo 4 to have a vote. Now, on the surface, that sounds fantastically legit and like, hey, they're being, fantastic and wonderful, and they're allowing everyone to have a voice heard. The reason behind that, though, is malicious. And it's malicious because what the employer is trying to do, and I'm a union rep and I deal with this stuff a lot more than I used to, so I'm very well versed in this. Employers will do everything possible to stop unionization. So what they're doing by saying we want to expand voting from just the QA people to everybody is they're hoping to dilute the voting pool enough that enough people vote no. Now, they've done this before. When it came to the Raven Software QA testers, where they were like, no, we want to try and open it up to everybody. The Labor Relation Board shut that down, said, go fuck your hat. And I suspect they're going to do the same thing because they have not changed tactics. They're still hiring union busting companies to try and break up unions. I suspect it won't be long until they integrate all the QA testers directly, which is code for we will break up the group of QA testers, so in the hopes that they'll never be able to talk, and therefore we can stop them from organizing. It's complete bullshit, and it's not going to go anywhere, and they're just going to lose. Like, at this point, they've got one union started. They might as well just say, fuck it, we'll voluntarily recognize everybody who decides to unionize. But, I mean, it's ABK, and they will die on that hill of no unionization allowed. And I was actually able to confirm from a former QA, Raven QA tester, that the whole, like, we want to open up the vote to everybody was done at Raven Software as well. So it's very much a repeat of what we've already seen. And it's about time they got their head out of their ass. So, I mean, this is going before the Labor Council or the Labor Relations Board. They're going to fight hard against it, and they're likely going to lose because they've already got one union in QA. They're likely going to have a second one. I don't know why Activision keeps thinking that they can stop the organization of labor movements. It absolutely makes no sense. Sorry, I was taking a sip of beer.
That's
it
fine.
makes absolutely no sense.
That's fine because you definitely have more knowledge about this than I do, especially when it comes to unions. Because I don't think that word's ever used down here in South Louisiana, if I'm being completely honest.
Needs to be.
It needs to be, but it's not. It's definitely a non-unionized state by far. But I'm never a fan of somebody trying to use the system against the people. I've never
Yep.
been a fan of that way, because there's already enough of government that does that. We need people to be able to stand up for the people.
Yep.
And it's so rare and far between for people to actually get behind that, because kind of knocking off the first subject they were talking about, it's just about the bottom dollar.
Yep.
They want to focus more on the bottom dollar than the actual well-being of the people that are making them that bottom dollar.
Absolutely.
Because without the people, you ain't got shit.
Yep. And the entire thing behind that is, when companies are like, oh, don't talk about your salary, don't talk about your benefits. Again, that's another way of controlling the narrative, stopping people from organizing, because employers, especially today, do not like the thought of employees standing up to their bullshit. Um, it was the I want to say the 1918 general strike in Canada that set off a huge labor movement. Prior to that, it's the same thing we're seeing today, where employers were saying nobody wants to work. We're paying this and nobody wants to work. And you probably see those posts on Twitter all the time from employers being like, well, nobody wants to work, we're paying this much. It's like, well, fuck you, number one. Number two, in the US, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. In most places, you need an income of about $16 to $17 an hour to actually be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment and live. Now,
Yep.
you get a lot of boomers who are like, I don't have avocado toast. That has nothing to fucking do with it. Like when
That's how separate boomers are when it comes to the actual financial statement of the world.
Yeah, and
It's so insane that sure, our Twitter feeds used to be full of us just taking pictures of our food and all this yada 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 yada, but that's us coping, bitch.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like they sit there and they're like, oh, when I was your age, I was making $4 an hour and I already had a house. Like, yeah, because milk cost 10 cents, a loaf of bread was a penny, and gas was maybe $5 a gallon. Like, fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Oh yeah.
You guys just had gas up around like $6 a gallon, I think.
Yep.
In Canada, your average is about $7+ a gallon. Easy.
It's a liter, right, or a gallon?
Gallon, because it's divide that by 3.785, and you'll get it to liters. But like when you're paying, I paid earlier this month, I think it was $2.09 a liter. Like, that's a fuck ton of money. It's 209, I think it was. Well, I'll say it was 210 because it was 209.9.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing: we're getting towards midterm election times, with the gas is starting to slowly trickle down. We're at I think the lowest here in the area where I'm at is like 327 is the lowest I've seen on the on the gallon side, but not even, like you said, a month and a half ago, we were pushing $5 a gallon in oil country.
I'm gonna still say fuck you and the horse you rode in on, because at 209.9, so $2.10 a liter, when you multiply that by 3.785 to get it to gallons, that is $7.95 a gallon.
It's all right, Amy. We'll be going on road trips
with
my $3.16.
The temptation to either get an electric car or get me like a moped is so real these days.
Oh yeah,
just so I can say fuck you, oil companies.
In this segment, it's called Nord on a bike.
Nord on wheels. Let's go, baby.
Nordic Trek.
Oh no!
No. Somebody's already trademarked that. We probably shouldn't use that one,
dude. When I've been using the Nordic Cajun for years now, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-laws every now and then, like, dude, I don't understand your name, because every time I try to look at your stuff, at least once or twice a week, I will get an ad for the Nordic track.
Yes.
So
Nordic
is
Track from
I'm
iFit.
sorry, that's just how I roll. I mean,
Yeah, try and look up my name.
speaking of rolling, is this a good segue back into our communications with Activision?
No, not at all.
Sure.
But we'll take it. We
No.
will take that.
We're
we will
on
take
an
that
adventure
exit.
right now. No. Okay. So,
One thing I didn't get a chance to even look at very much this week, which I'm hoping to address probably in an upcoming episode. There was two things that they were also doing. One of them was apparently they were using illegal surveillance on employees,
Say it ain't
and
so.
then they tried to shut down the California Civil Rights Department lawsuit. So those will be interesting to follow up on at a later date because it's Activision, and I'm not fucking surprised at this point.
I mean, we can do a whole episode on freaking unionization because of the between that
Oh yeah,
and things going down with the employees with Starbucks walking out in
yep.
troves
There's
because of
now
that. It's just like it's going insane.
there's now like what 20 or 30 Starbucks stores across the U.S. that are unionized.
Yep, and then when they try to fire somebody because they were trying to unionize, the whole employee crew just walked out. I was like,
Yeah, 7
did
people
it?
got reinstated. The Labor Relations Board enforced a reinstatement order on it was I think 7 managers or
and
7
16
employees.
stores shut their doors.
Yeah,
I got into an argument on kind of the same subject on Twitter. It wasn't really an argument. It was just me stating like you guys are fucking stupid. Well, no, I mean it's like so the entire conversation about living wage versus minimum wage is a big one, and people are like, oh yeah, jobs at McDonald's and Starbucks are entry level positions for high schoolers. No, it's a job. It's skilled labor. Just
Yeah.
some organizations choose to train you on the job, like baristas. Like, dude, I don't know how to make coffee like that. Do you know how to make coffee like that?
We are
Nope.
in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
The argument that people should be able to afford existing should never be in question.
Exactly. We shouldn't be looking at minimum wage. We shouldn't be looking at the minimum to scrape by. The only reason, and this is my opinion, and I'm very strongly behind this opinion, the only reason you should ever have a second or third or fourth job is because you want those jobs, not because you need those jobs. Your main job should pay you enough to not only live, but thrive. So you have food, shelter, so you like food and shelter security, and you have money that you can save for your retirement. Like any additional income that you make should be because you want it, not because you're required to get that income just to make rent or just to be able to put food on your table.
And
We should
that's-
not we should not be looked at, even though we are currently by the higher ups, we should not be looked at as cattle to
Mhm.
fund the bigger product.
And that's
The-
why unions are important. That's who they
Agreed.
represent. And
Mhm.
that's why it's relevant.
Yep.
Well, and one of the biggest things that unions bring to the table is transparency in benefits, transparency in pay. And I was just showing Crit Chicken my CBA from where I work. And the nice thing that those give you is that transparency because you can look at your female employees because they're the one and your BIPOC employees because they're the ones that suffer the most. And as long as they're at the same classification as you they're going to be paid the same amount. And if you are like me and you have annual increases, it just matters where on that scale they are. But at the end of the day, they're getting paid the same amount as you. And that's really what companies don't like to have as a transparency because they like to look at BIPOC and women and say, you can do more work for less because you'll just fucking take it and screw you.
And,
And that's really what unions do is they
and,
get rid of that bullshit.
and it's not just for businesses across the world. It's for governments across the world
Yeah.
too. Like the word transparency, you might as well be telling them you a mother because they don't want to show you anything. Like case in point, I know this is a meme at this point, and we don't like saying his name right now.
The
But
Cheeto?
no. Fuck Cheeto. I'm talking about Elon Musk.
Oh,
The whole meme about the whole center of people wanting to feed the world. And they're saying Elon Musk could easily end world hunger by cashing in this amount of stocks from his company.
I
And
have
he
6
said,
billion.
Yeah, if you could show me, he said this, if you could show
Yep.
me a detailed plan of where you would put the money, I will gladly cash in those stocks right now. He was ready to put his money where his mouth was, and as much as we hate that bitch, I know for a fact he would have done it because
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think he would because
He's
he's that kind of egotistical maniac that would.
Well, it
but
wouldn't
he's
affect
also
him.
trying to get out of buying Twitter, and he's been able to dump.
This was before Twitter. This whole
Yeah.
conversation happened before Twitter. I
Oh
think
yeah, no, I made fun of him for it.
I think he would have easily said, if you could show me A, B, C, D, all the way to Z of how you would spend this money, I'll do it, and we will fix this planet right now. But nobody said a word the moment he stepped up because they don't want to show you where they're actually going to be putting the money.
Yeah, that's the other argument too. Solve world hunger for how long? For today, for the week, for the year. Like, it's only $6 billion.
Exactly.
And this
I
is
mean,
on.
You also
Yes.
have people right now because of the low wages that are currently going through homelessness. Even one of my Facebook friends up in New York was like, "Happy birthday to me! I'm becoming homeless." So
Yeah,
it's really getting critical.
it is. There's
And there,
just not
and
the people who
there's
suffer the most are the people who need that money the most. And small businesses do get horribly affected by large increases in minimum wage. Yes, I get that. However, at the same time, the biggest contributors to the wage gap isn't small business. Small business tends to try to position themselves so they're making enough to live themselves but also grow their businesses. It's medium and large style and enterprise level businesses where you have um, executive pay structures that are outrageous. As an example, when Target Canada left Canada, when they folded up shop because they were stupid and didn't know how to set up, a supply chain, um, they hired the original CEO was fired by the board of directors. They hired a new guy whose compensation package was $120 million to shut down Target Canada. The entire compensation package for all the remaining Target employees was $120 million shared. So this one fucko got $120 million for himself just to shut down Target. That in itself is bullshit.
I give you a huge ass check to go ruin the lives of hundreds of people, if not
Yeah.
thousands of people, and
And
their
they have to
families.
share what you made by yourself for yourself. And that worked out to not a whole lot of money because people are like, "Ooh, $120 million. That's amazing." No, not when you have, what was it, like 10,000 employees or something? That's not a lot of fucking money for each of them.
Nope.
Like that goes away quickly. And when we start, and shareholders, again, I'll harp on them like I did the other time in the previous episode. Shareholders need to start rejecting these pay compensation packages that are so outrageous that that allows companies to underpay their employees. Um, Employees are finally realizing that they're worth more than they're being paid, and they're organizing as a result of that. If companies don't want employees to unionize, they need to start trimming executive pay by at least 400%, like easily, and they need to start putting that money back into employee pay and benefits
Isn't
if they
that what
want to.
happened with Blizzard? Is one of the CEOs gave themselves a massive pay increase, and on top of that, cut a bunch of employees?
Yeah, that sounds like Blizzard. I'm pretty sure you're right.
Because you cannot tell me that these big old companies cannot afford to throw a few extra dollars to their employees.
That's bad. We're like,
Yeah.
did this thing happen? Most likely, yeah.
It sounds like a Blizzard thing. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Did it suck? Yeah, it probably happened.
speaking of, let's move on to the second half of this, where Nintendo joins the fray.
Frat house.
Oh,
No, fuck
man.
off.
So, Amy has gotten really passionate about what's going on here. Like, oh man, if there's even mentions of Vaporeon. Vaporeon
Good
porn.
lord.
I
Yeah.
was reading that. I'm dying over
Like,
here.
I
trying to
almost
get
want-
over that right now.
I almost want to read it out loud, but I'll probably get banned. Instead,
What are you doing, Smash Brother?
No. No,
That
because I'm going to say
smash,
something
bro,
on Twitter and
please.
get banned again or get locked out of my account again.
I'm sorry.
So another reason why unions are valuable is the exact reason why we're even talking about Nintendo right now. Right. Aside from the sexual harassment claims, which is what this is actually focused on for a lot of this, but there's also discrimination with that as well, because that honestly, I think that the pay gap is pretty much sexual discrimination all the way to begin with.
Absolutely.
So, let's see here. Where should I start on this, Amy? Or I could just let you lead again. This is kind of your bailiwick.
Well, what happened, what came to light recently is that a former staffer explained that she reported incidences of sexual harassment to management, or sorry, to the contractor she was employed by, and as a result, um, the staffing company was like, whoa, don't be so outspoken, don't stir the pot, don't cause any trouble. So Kotaku has this expose on this whole bullshit, and good on them for getting people to talk. They spoke to 10 people who worked for Nintendo at various points in the past decade. All of them had various stories of sexual harassment and gender discrimination at a company, that they said limited career advancement for opportunities for women. And additionally, in this story, it highlights these people highlighted the power imbalance between full-time staffers and contractors, saying that the promotions to full-time were given based on favoritism, with the head of the product testing department routinely making inappropriate advances towards women working under him. The woman who came forward and spoke to Kotaku was a QA tester as well. And it seems like QA gets the shit end of the stick all over the place. Not surprising, because most people don't realize QA even exists or what it takes to do QA. So the biggest problem with all of that is this woman was basically sidelined. She was made to eventually quit because of the sexual harassment, because of the the retaliation that came against her. And it's horrifying that this bullshit still goes on. And on top of sexual harassment, there was a guy. This is where we get into Vaporeon, whatever. This dude posted something in a general chat for the company, and it was horrifying. Basically, this guy was the TLDR, to not make you want to gouge your eyes out, was basically sexualizing Vaporeon, and came up with an entire list of reasons why it was okay to be attracted to something that looks like a child.
What?
Yeah. So what do they say here? They can also learn the moves attract, baby doll eyes, captivate, charm, and tail whip. Along with,
I could mark this as explicit, and I could just read it out loud if you're quite a queasy about it.
No. People don't need to read this.
Warning.
So my search history is bad enough when I research topics. This made it even worse.
No doubt. Well, I mean, considering our search terms are all porn.
Well, the internet is for porn, right? Because that's what WoW taught me.
Internet is for porn.
And the reason I don't want to read it all out is because I don't want to give a voice to this horrendous thing. But that's basically what this person was saying, is that, they're fuckable, and they're look like kids, and they act like kids. Like, that is just gross. And the guy who wrote this didn't get in any real trouble.
Of course not.
The person who brought it forward got in a whole bunch of shit. And it's absolutely disgusting that they let this slide. And pardon me, that they didn't do anything about it. Like, I don't understand the rationale behind not dealing with this crap, because it is horrendous, and it's inconceivable that a company would allow this to happen, and then allow it to continue unabated. The person who brought it forward, when Kotaku interviewed them, they changed their name to Hannah just for the article. But basically, in their Microsoft Teams, one of their channels they had made is called the Laughing Zone. It was supposed to be where they could just throw jokes and memes and everything.
The meme
But
channel.
this dude posted this horrendous thing about why Vaporeon is the best Pokemon to have sex with. Um, you know, Hannah was disgusted by the explicit descriptions, which I won't go into because, but then the conversation turned to Genshin Impact, and the person who posted the Vaporeon thing posted a GIF of Paimon. I don't know what that is. Apparently, it's a child character in the game,
That's
and he
that.
posted about how it's okay to be sexually attracted to Paimon, despite the character's childlike appearance, voice, and personality. That person needs to be on a fucking list.
Yeah, because Paimon, for the uneducated, I hate to say it that way, is one of the main characters of the game, and it's just
Oh
a little,
God.
it's a little fairy that you meet at the beginning of the game.
I just
That
looked at the picture. Holy
yeah,
fuck! What the
it
hell?
looks like a kid, and
Yeah.
the running joke of the game is she's food, like you can eat her, so that doesn't help with the situation. But yeah, like she
Gross.
looks like a child. She
I
looks
think
like a
it's
child.
I think it also kind of the running joke of Excel Saga is Menchie the dog is emergency food as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's over my head.
Yeah.
People will take anything and just twist it to their own
But
sick ideals, no matter
yeah,
what it is.
and the worst part was is because that was an actual employee. Aerotech, the contractor that had hired her, couldn't do anything about it. But she got retaliated against for bringing this forward, and it's like, why the hell was this allowed to continue after the first thing about fucking Pokemon? Why was that employee not, either disciplined or terminated? And then when he posted about screwing a child or a character that looks like a child, I don't fucking care, if they're 400 years old, they look like a fucking child. No, you belong on a fucking list. And the Nintendo didn't do anything about it. Like, what the hell?
I hate to say, but that kind of mindset is not uncommon
I know.
Well-
punish the person that actually calls the shit out rather than
Mhm.
people that actually put the shit out to begin with.
Yep.
One of the things that was called out is she was a contractor, and we visited the contractor conversation with Activision Blizzard King, which is where a lot of this is originated from. With our favorite Jessica Gonzalez, I think is her name, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, Jessica Gonzalez is on the forefront of that, and that's the mentality. You've got full-time employees or FTEs, depending on which organization you're with, and then of course you've got your contractors or V-dashes or whatever they may be, and it's sometimes it's pretty broad across all companies, and unfortunately contractors are just not given the same treatment as full-time employees.
They never will be, and that pisses me right the fuck off.
Right, and then, mind you, the security concerns. There's also limitations. Also depends on if they're a managed team, if they are and I think if you're not familiar with the industry, I think it's 18 on, 6 off as far as employment's concerned to reset security measures and whatnot, unless you're on a managed team or an external team site. It's interesting stuff, and
that's different from. I'm sorry, this is coming from the medical field side of me.
Mhm.
You're saying contracted people for that kind of stuff doesn't get compensated nearly as well as people who are full time.
Oh no!
Nope.
The contracting company gets compensated very well.
Very well. Yeah.
But their contractors, who they vend out to the other companies, they'll give them the lowest buck. It's like, hey, we'll give you a job. Go do this for this other company, and that's
Okay,
pretty much how it works.
Episode 1.
That's what kind of confused me because I was like, wait a second, I had to make sure I got that right because I heard it wrong.
Yeah.
Because in the medical field, like people who go around and do traveling contracting work make 3 times as much as full-time employees down here.
Well, think about it this way. If you're a staffing agency, there's one down here that if you work for a newspaper company and you're getting paid, or you're supposed to get paid like $13 an hour, supposed to, the staffing agency will actually take $1 off of that an hour from you. So you're really getting paid $12 and they're pocketing the $1 an hour profit or whatever. even though they're not working. It's just because they commissioned you.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if we go back to episode 1, when I was talking about the contractors we had paid for at my work, we paid $1 million for the contract for 3 people. Between them, they were making $70,000 a year. That was $210,000 just for those employees. They had to do all their own deductions, take all, like, anything they needed to take off for tax wise was all on them. So
Yeah.
their actual take home was less. And the remaining $790,000 went to the contract company, and those contractors had no pay, no benefits. Like they'd no if
No
they took
insurance at all.
nothing. So if they took a day off, it was unpaid. If they were sick, it was unpaid. Vacation, unpaid. It was just complete trash. Um, so it all these things of these companies having these absolute bullshit environments really, really, really emphasizes why we need more unionization in the gaming industry. But a nice segue in that for nice things is Pokemon and what they're going to do with
Hey,
$25 million. That I think is really cool.
Absolutely. Did you read up on this one, Nord?
I'm looking at it more right now, but for me, I don't even have to read the article because it just hits home for me. Because growing up as the awkward fat kid in school, Pokemon was always something that made me feel like I was doing something that made me happy. And I never felt bad telling people how excited I was to go and play Pokemon, go buy Pokemon cards, trade Pokemon with other people across state lines or across the world when it finally got big enough. And I'm sharing that with little man now. He's just as big as Pokemon fan as I am, and to see that that's being like exemplified by the company itself to help philanthropic, I'm gonna say it right, philanthropic adventures, that just proves to me that I put my stake in something that was really good even from the get-go.
Yeah.
And it's just it's like you said, it's a feel good, like in a world full of shit, any kind of good feel good news right now, especially with something that some people can get so passionate about. You can go on YouTube and type in Pokemon, you can see hundreds if not thousands of content creators still going back to the old games that we grew up with and doing nuzlocks, doing challenges,
Yeah.
doing trading card games, doing this it's just amazing.
I don't want to derail you, but we've got 10 minutes or
I
8
know.
minutes.
I'm sorry. I could go on. I could
The
get,
nice thing
I could get
was,
deep on it, man.
yeah, the nice thing was with that $25 million, they're dedicating it to organizations, or they're over the next 5 years, they'll be paying it out to organizations that are dedicated to involving or improving the lives of children and supporting social equity.
Mhm.
So that's really, really good for communities because it helps create, you know, a good support system for kids. It helps create an equitable community or a combination of both. And it's just a way of getting people in healthier communities, really, by putting that money into those communities. It's really going to uplift them, and that's really, really good. And it's awesome for all the shit we talk about, all the bad stuff we talk about. It's nice to see a company stepping up and saying, you know what, we want to make a positive difference in people's lives. So we're going to put our money where our mouth is and make sure this happens.
And they've been doing that with the games for years, but to be able to do a literal physical change in kids, families, and homes across the world, that just like I will buy 6 copies of the new game coming out in November. Not even joking. It's going down.
Honestly, I think the microtransactions in Pokemon Go probably attributed to that. Hey,
Mm.
Mom, can I
Probably.
have your wallet?
Absolutely. I'm
That-
guilty. I love
that's
I love me some gold coins and
That's all
Pokemon Go.
Niantic, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, so moving on, we've also got Nexus Mods doing the work, man. Now this one's really awesome. Just the short of it, I'm going to read this blog post, by the way. I know you said bonus, but I'm
Go
going
for
to do it if that's okay, Amy.
Yeah, go
But,
right ahead.
Yeah, because I'm just going to read out loud. But the short of it is, if you don't want to hear it, is that a mod for Spider-Man came out that replaced the very few pride flags that were around the city with American flags, stars and bars, and
Dumbasses.
yeah.
Yep.
And this was Nexus's response after they banned them And the community's like, oh, it could have been this, it could have been that, and they flatly said the following. Recently, there's been some silly drama on our site that was sparked by someone uploading a mod for Spiderman Remastered. The mod replaced the very few pride flags the game actually has with the already prevalent USA flag texture from the game. The mod was removed from Nexus Mods and the author was banned. To address the banning, which is what a lot of people want to focus on, the mod was uploaded by a sock puppet account and uploaded under the name Mike Hawk. It was very clearly done deliberately to be a troll mod. The fact the user needed to make a sock puppet like a coward to upload the mod showed their intent to troll, and they knew it would not be allowed. Had they not been a coward and had they used their main account instead, we would have simply removed the mod and told them that we did not want to host it, only banning them if they re-uploaded it again after being fairly warned. The creation of the sock puppet removed any doubt and made it a very easy decision for us. Both the sock puppet account and the user's main account have been banned. In regards to replacement of the pride flags in this game, or any game, our policy is thus. Hold on. We are for diversity. If we think someone is uploading a mod on our site with the intent to deliberately be against inclusivity and or diversity, then we will take action against it. The same goes for people attempting to troll other users with mods deliberately to cause a rise. For our part, we will endeavor to do a better job of moderating our website to this ethos ourselves. We aren't the authority on what users can and cannot mod. Us removing a mod only means it cannot be found at Nexus Mods. Nothing more, nothing less. We also note that we are not the only site that has removed this mod from their platform. As a private business, we have the right to choose what content we do and do not want to host on our platform. Respect this right the same way you would respect, the same way you want respect for your rights. If you feel something goes against our policy, then please report it. However, we will be the adjudicators. Yeah, that's to say that right?
That's the word.
Adjudicators on what we do or do not think is appropriate for Nexus Mods, and that goes for everyone, no matter where they stand, left, right, up, or down. We don't want to and won't argue this with you. We've now explained our stance, and we won't be providing a platform for you to distort our position in order to feed an irrational and paranoid narrative. You can do that elsewhere, where we won't care enough to read it. If this policy upsets you, we've broken some moral code of conduct as a business that you can't accept, then please delete your account, and there's a link, and leave in parentheses, bottom option, and move on as we will. And that's brilliant. And I think that's a good show.
It was absolutely amazing, man. I need every company out there to hear this and copy and paste that shit.
Yep.
They're pretty much like, delete this.
Yep, just to delete this GIFs all over the what I thought was really funny is somebody found that exact mod on mods.io, which ModDB is a subsidiary or the owner of it, whatever. So they tagged mods.io with a screenshot saying, are you allowing this? And modsDB quote tweeted that and said, "Hi, we've removed the content and banned the users. ModDB is an inclusive environment for all, and we do not permit targeting marginalized groups. Our content moderation is largely automated, but when identified, we have a zero tolerance policy for this kind of content." That is fucking amazing. So this shithead troll, who tried being edgy and cool and failed all over the place, has now had, their accounts banned on 2 different platforms, and that's awesome. Like, go fuck your hat with a hammer.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yep.
Indeed.
And what's horrifying is the description for this mod said changes it was underlined by the person who tagged mods.io, stupid pride flags. Well, I'm sorry. You're fucking stupid. And this guy tagged it as Spider-Man American Flag, Trump, and Trump 2024.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
The fact
Fuck
that
your hat. Get off the internet. Go touch grass.
The fact that you played that entire game and a couple of itty bitty flags in the game that were spread out in random places in the game is what really destroys your immersion. We're not living in a utopia. We're living in a free world. Go fuck yourself.
Dude, I tell you what, Meal Team 6 and Y'all Kata tends to show up when you least expect it. Just like the end of our podcast. So.
Hey.
Oh my God, it's already the end. Holy crap.
It is.
This went by fast.
Pretty much. We'll just go down the list. Crit, what you got going on?
Classic. TBC.
All the world classic.
World of Warcraft Classic. The Burning Crusade. Awesome.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say we're getting ready for the Scourge invasion.
Oh, that was such a fun time.
Anyway, go.
So what have I got going on? You can find me over at twitter.com/Ami21. I'm recently off a 12-hour suspension because I pissed off a whole bunch of QAnon people.
Attaboy.
Yep, it was worth it. So you can tell them they should have been sock children. They should have been swallowed. They should eat rusty nails or dine on some razor blades. That's all cool, but the moment, or you can also tell them to bathe in lava. All that's cool, but the moment you tell them to drink bleach, 12-hour suspension. So that was fun. I got in a little trouble with Crit Chicken because she was like, we can't do any more cute posts on Twitter until you get unsuspended. So there's a little bit in the doghouse for that. But otherwise, I'm still shitposting against Vatnix and Tankies. I'm also playing Classic a little bit with Crit Chicken. We're leveling up some new tunes. And I am trying to unlock flying in Battle for Argus. I've already finished the flying unlocks for Shadowlands in WoW. And that's about it.
Nice. Cajun, what you got going on?
Other than making the Cult of Nord getting stronger and stronger every day with the Cult of the Lamb game, I'm still pushing out Pokemon content on YouTube. I'm slowly getting more TikTok content out there. And I'm currently buying the supplies and stuff to bring my Satyr BBEG D&D character to life on TikTok. He's been a character of mine that I've been wanting to bring to life for a long time. I haven't done a villain yet on TikTok, and I think it's about time that I bring him to life.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, no, seriously, send me the link once it's out.
Oh, absolutely, sir. I will be posting all the links. I'll be doing pictures of in progress pictures of how I'm doing it because I'm doing the whole bottom leg fur thing from scratch. So I'm going all in on this one.
Nice. All right, you can find him everywhere at the Nordic Cajun, and me, I'll be doing podcast stuff and playing video games. That's pretty much it. That's what I do, and that brings us to the end of our show. Don't forget, we actually host all of our shows on my YouTube channel in a single playlist, which is linked in the description in our Twitch channel and on anchor.fm/UDP broadcast. There you can find it where it's distributed to all the major podcasting platforms. In fact, today I think I just added it to Podvine. So, but that's it. That's UDP broadcast for today.
Killing the game 1 week at a time.
Indeed. Come back and see us again next week where we'll talk about more shenanigans and go off on tangents for about 10-15 minutes. It was
And
great.
the next topic will be Internet Explorer.
Woo!
I know.
Pour one out from a homie.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
So long, chat.